Okay, folks, so I was asked the question, can we toggle something, whatever it happens to be, actuate something? Do we have to have an Arduino? And when we're using XBs, and the answer is no in some situations. And I have a situation here set up that you absolutely don't need a remote radio whatsoever. Now, if you watch the Raspberry Pi IoT server, and I show you how to create a server, create a web page so you can control your devices. Now, this is the coordinator here, and this would normally be hooked up to our Raspberry Pi, but I just have it on my PC for now. And then I have an XB that's set up as router. I have a solid state relay. Now, the solid state relays are nice. They're pricey, right? I think maybe $10 for that. But you can draw up to 40 amps, I think. 200 and I forget how many volts, but a lot, maybe even more than that. 320 volts, 40 amps. Is that right? 380 volts, 40 amps. But the nice thing about them is they don't require many amps to turn on. So you'll notice on this side, I have DIO 0 on my XB radio and ground running to this side. So it doesn't require very many amps to turn on. Whereas, some mechanical relays might draw a bit of amperage. And then on the other side, I have my load going to pin 1. So this is the load for the light. And then here's the incoming over here. And I just happen to use this because I had a junction box. I put a bunch of these in my kitchen. And I had this one left over, and that way I didn't have to splice a lamp wire or something to show you this. And I put a piece of diffuse paper over this because these things are bright. By the way, they're Torchstar Lights. If you're ever interested, you can see this one's got some drywall on it. It was in. If you're interested in such a thing, take a look at them. I'll put a link if you want on the video. I don't have an affiliate program or any of that stuff with Amazon. I just, I'll just put it there if somebody's interested. But they're relatively cheap, easy to install. They're LED, so they are very efficient. And again, they're bright. So let's turn it on. So I've got the coordinator open here, right? I've come over. I've opened up a terminal, and let's create a frame. And I show you how to do this. So I'll put in case you're watching this video and you didn't see the others. I'll pull up the others so you can see how you could then do this and build a web page so you could drive and view the state of these any of these devices right on the web page on your phone or what have you. But we're just going to do a remote AT command, and I'm going to put the address here. So this is the address of this radio, and again, I'm in the coordinator radio, which I have attached to my PC. And what we want is we want to toggle pin DIO 0, if I can type it. So this very first pin up here is pin 20, or DIO 0. And the value we want to set it to is 5 in hex. If you were sending a packet, that's how you would send it, right? You want to send that value as hex. And that would be it, right? So we can say okay, and let's set this one as on. And we might as well, let's make one for off. So I'll just double click that. This one's going to be off. And let's just go in and modify the value, the hex value, the parameter value we would send would be 4. And I'll show you where those are derived from in a second here, if for those of you who may not know. So anyway, we can now just send on. Again, sorry, I noticed that light is awful bright. It was just easy for me to do. And we can send that off. And the cool part about it is the only thing you need, remotely is the radio and obviously the relay switch. Now I'm gonna set this up for a friend of mine, and to make it nice and easy, I got this. So what I'll do is I'll create a video on this too, and maybe just bind this right directly to the Raspberry Pi, and we can create a little app that we can control and view the state of anything plugged into this on our phone. Now, as far as let me just discover that remote radio. All right, we'll add that. Oop. Unfortunately, you can't open once you pull up a remote radio based on, doesn't matter which radio you have plugged into your machine, it doesn't have to be a coordinator. This could have been one of the routers. But you, any of the modules you pull up by reading it through whatever one you have attached, unfortunately, you can't open up a terminal window. Kind of stinks. But anyway, so this router now is this radio right here. And so when we were talking about what we're toggling, here was the state we were toggling. So this is D0, right? So that's the value D0 I was putting in. And then 4 is the hex value that we set to set this to digital output low, right? If we change it to digital output high, obviously the light comes on, right? Set that back to low, and the light goes off. Okay. Now I'm going to pause this video for 1 minute, and what I'll do is, if you're looking to now do all of this from a Raspberry Pi, right, and then create a web page where you can remotely monitor and set the state of any relay, so if you know if your lights are on or off or what have you. I'll show you where the video for that is. Give me 1 second. Okay, folks. So here is the GitHub page where I put the code, and I also have 3 videos here to help you get up and running with it. So if you were to go to this playlist, this one I show you how to set up your XBs if you don't know how. This is kind of the meat of this whole thing. So I show you how to set up the IoT server on your Raspberry Pi, and then for fun, I show you how to drive NeoPixels if that's something that you might be interested in. So anyway, I hope you find it helpful. Good luck.